Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after his marathon meetings with top CEOs, a bilateral summit, the Quad Summit, and addressing the United Nations General Assembly, returned home to interact with construction workers engaged in the task of building India's new temple of democracy. He complimented construction workers, engineers and contractors for being engaged in what the government calls is a very pious task. He spoke to officials to ensure the well-being of workers, including their monthly health checkup and their vaccination. BJP says the Prime Minister works round the clock. Congress says the Prime Minister indulges only in a photo op. Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu gets you a top story.
Mr. Narendra Modi inspecting the construction of the new Parliament building hours after returning from the United States of America. Modi spent an hour looking at the blueprint, talking to officials and workers on ground and reviewing the progress. Workers chanted Bharat Mata Ki Jai, seeing the Prime Minister on ground. The opposition was clearly not impressed, terming the visit a photo op.
अगर प्रधानमंत्री सिर्फ अकेले जाकर नई पार्लियामेंट की बिल्डिंग जो कंस्ट्रक्ट हो रही है उसका मायना करेंगे, इंस्पेक्ट करेंगे, तो मेरा मानना है वो गलत था। क्यों गलत था? क्योंकि वो थ्योरी ऑफ सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर्स के खिलाफ उनका ये स्टेप है। दूसरा, उस हाउस का जो कस्टोडियन है वो स्पीकर है, स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा, वो उनके साथ क्यों नहीं थे?
Congress MP Jairam Ramesh tweeted to say the Prime Minister's visit to the Central Vista project was a photo op and diversionary tactics.
हमारी सरकार, हमारी पार्टी कोविड के इस संकट काल के दौरान भी लोगों से मिलती रही, लोगों की मदद करती रही, सैनिटाइजर, मास्क, दवा बांटना, लोगों को राशन वितरण करना, तो जो काम किए वो दिख रहा है। ये तो खुद कोई काम करते नहीं, घर पे केवल बैठकर ट्वीट करते हैं, बयानबाजी का काम करते हैं। ये इनका बयान पूरी तरह निराधार है।
The opposition has hit back at the Prime Minister, saying this is a PR exercise. However, the BJP is hit right back at the opposition, saying that they're only looking at an opportunity to strike at him. The fact that he's a hands-on Prime Minister and has reviewed the project and given a pat on the back to supervisors and workers who are the real unsung heroes of the nation.
The Prime Minister had a hectic schedule in the US, holding a series of meetings with top American CEOs, a bilateral summit with the US President, an hour-long meeting with the US Vice President Kamala Harris at the Eisenhower Executive Office, the first in-person Quad Summit, and then addressing the United Nations General Assembly.
This was supposed to be a one-hour meeting, but it went on to something like 90 minutes. The discussion obviously was very comprehensive and wide-ranging, as I said. In fact, President Biden said it should have been a 2-day exclusive India-US summit.
The opposition, however, has also taken pot shots at the Prime Minister's visit to the US, claiming it was high on optics and low on substance. Former Finance and Home Minister P. Chidambaram tweeted to say that he was disappointed that only a few seats were occupied when the Prime Minister addressed the United Nations General Assembly.
Did the Prime Minister ask the CEO of American companies the reason behind big American companies exiting from India under the BJP regime, Harley Davidson, GM and Ford, and its implication on BJP's slogan, ease of doing business in India? The truth of the matter is, Prime Minister's foreign visits for the past 7 years are always high on optics and hollow on deliverables and achievables.
Congress MP Rahul Gandhi targeted the Prime Minister on the comments of US Vice President Kamala Harris on democracy. Taking to social media platform Instagram, the former Congress President asked, did he get it? The BJP, on the other hand, insists the Prime Minister's visit has been a success.
देश के करोड़ों लोगों की तरफ से जो उन्होंने देश को गौरवान्वित किया है, उसके लिए मैं आप सब की ओर से उनका पुनः हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं।
इतना बड़ा पवित्र काम आपके हाथों से हो रहा है भाई।
As 2022 assembly elections approach, the opposition is leaving no opportunity to target the Prime Minister from his US visit to the Central Vista project.
ये लगभग 7.5 मीटर है।
With Kamaljeet Sandhu in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi again, taking a jibe at the Prime Minister's foreign visits. Rahul Gandhi put out a video of Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking off on foreign tours with a caption, "Too busy with wanderlust to care. Hashtag World Tourism Day." The video also has a John Denver classic leaving on a jet plane playing in the background. So Congress MP Rahul Gandhi put out pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on official overseas travel, saying, "Too busy with wanderlust to care," on the music of John Denver's leaving on a jet plane. BJP leaders say Congress is rattled because Prime Minister Narendra Modi works 24/7. Joining me on India First is Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, India's former ambassador to several countries and former spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs. Rohan Gupta leads the Congress charge and Guru Prakash leads the BJP's counter-attack. And Guru Prakash, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi says the Prime Minister is too busy with wanderlust to care. He's just travelling overseas. Congress says it may be high on optics, it's low on deliverables.
Gaurav, we must understand at the very outset that the age of privileges and entitlement is now over. Anyone from the most humblest of background can become the Prime Minister of the country. Today, as we know, the Prime Minister of India from a backward caste community who is working 24/7 on a US visit, we saw a new momentum, meeting with top CEOs, a meeting with head of states as well, and with so many deliverables and with so many outputs. So it's very obvious for the Congress party, who somehow believes that they are entitled to certain privileges. There are no more huge delegations, journalists who are traveling on taxpayers' money. They are now not able to go. So they have to come out with a certain narrative, but they are not able to digest this fact.
Okay.
If you do a comparative analysis of 10 years of UPA and the 7 years of NDA government, you would see the foreign policy outcome. Today there is a new conversation about Open Indo-Pacific. There is a quad which is coming up as a strong structure, a group of free democracies coming together. A group
let's
of
take this
economies.
one by one. You are saying the era of
and the Prime
privileges
Minister is leading
over.
the global discourse.
Okay. You say the Prime Minister is leading international discourse. Rohan Gupta, BJP says Prime Minister works 24/7. How is going abroad for a bilateral summit or a multilateral summit or addressing the UNGA wanderlust? Was Dr. Manmohan Singh, his visit to New York to address UNGA or his summit with US presidents, was that wanderlust, sir?
See, Gaurav, first of all, I think we are paying price of Mr. Modi's blunders. It's not about just one individual, it's about the country. The whole country is paying the price, and it started with the program called Namaste Trump. I agree Mr. Modi works 24/7, but he works for his few friends, chronological friends. My problem here is, when you are going outside the country, when you are representing the country, and at the end of the day, you are coming back to the country empty-handed, what we can say, we can see that. And Gaurav, this is the first time that the Indian Prime Minister has been lectured on democracy. This is the first time Indian Prime Minister has been lectured on following Gandhian and Nehruvian principles. Why this is happening? I think this all started with Namaste Trump. This was the biggest blunder by any Prime Minister of any country, canvassing for particular candidate in the election. India has never done that. Our policy has been very clear that as far as international relations are concerned, we were always non-aligned. And as far as US was concerned, they have been supporting India for last many years, last 10 years. And Mr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister, he was one of the pioneers of building those relationships. And let me tell Mr. Gurunath of BJP, Guru Prakash, sorry, that Mr. Modi cannot address the press by coming back in India press conference. Mr. Manmohan Singh could address the press. He used to address the press once he is back to the country. But here, Mr. Modi could not get the kind of optics he wanted in US.
So you've raised multiple points, and let me take this to Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, understands foreign policy far more than you and I. And if I may, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, is the Prime Minister's visit wanderlust? Point 1 and point 2, in your appreciation as a diplomat, Did Prime Minister Narendra Modi come back empty-handed? I'll come to the aspect of lecturing on democracy in a moment.
I find it quite amusing, this discussion, and this spin that is being given. I normally do not like to get into politics. I've had the good fortune of traveling with the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, whom I hold in very high regard, for 3.5 years. I've handled the visit of Prime Minister Modi as High Commissioner of Canada. You know, all I know is that every Prime Minister puts in his very best to A, fly the India flag high, and B, make it as substantive as possible. The amount of effort that goes into preparing for these visits, I know, and some of us who have been practitioners, we know what all goes into it. I think that the Prime Minister Modi's visit to the US was most substantive, timely, and important. I'm impressed, and I can say that again, by the fact that despite the COVID pandemic restrictions, he packed in so much into the visit. It is remarkable. So I hold no brief for any government, but I hold brief for my country.
Yes,
and
yes.
I am very impressed at the outcome. Basically, Prime Minister's visit has set the agenda for the enhanced partnership between India and the US under the Biden-Harris administration.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Okay, so you're saying he has not come back empty-handed. It's been substantive, and the Prime Minister set the agenda. Point one. Point two, Guru Prakash Paswan. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh on Prime Minister's visit to the Parliament building project tweeted to say it's a photo op to divert attention. And when you look at that tweet, he says different avatars of a self-styled Sarvagyani. Guru Prakash Paswan.
Gaurav, I genuinely do not want to waste my time responding to Mr. Jairam Ramesh's tweet, because he is someone who is in the Rajya Sabha, and the Prime Minister of India is leading the country with the largest mandate in the last 30 years. My friend from the Congress party, he mentioned about the Nehruvian foreign policy as well. And I'm glad that he mentioned he must also do an analysis of Nehruvian foreign policy blunders as well. His policy on Tibet, his policy on China. And let me make this clear tonight on your show, Gaurav. It was Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru who told Mr. Kenneth Galbraith that I am the last European left on Indian soil. He did not consider himself Indian enough. So what do we expect from him today when the Honorable Prime Minister of India goes to the United Nations and make sure that there is an international yoga day, and make sure that there is help extended whenever there was any call, there was any demand for pharma cooperation as well. During the COVID, we saw we cooperated with Brazilian government, we cooperated with the US administration as well. As the world vaccine manufacturer, we are supporting so many countries with our vaccines.
Okay.
So I seriously don't see any water in this argument that there was no foreign policy outcome. On the second point, on Honorable Prime Minister visit to the construction site, the Prime Minister is committed for the welfare of the last man in the line, the Antyodaya, as we say, the labor of this country, the farmers of this country. We are committed for their last mile development, and it was just in solidarity that he went, and it was in sense of inspiration to them as well. We saw the chanting of support for the Honorable Prime Minister.
Rohan Gupta, Prime Minister, reviewed the construction project, called it the Temple of Democracy. You heard his statement where he said, "Bahut pavitra kaam hai." It's a pious work that those construction workers are engaged in. He spoke to them, gave clear instructions to ensure their monthly medical checkup, asked about vaccination, said that should be ensured, also said that digital archive would be made of their contribution. So every worker involved, there would be a digital archive of his or her contribution to this pious work of construction of democracy. Is that a mere photo op, sir?
गौरव, पवित्रता तब भी होती जब किसान जो हमारी बॉर्डर पे बैठे, दिल्ली की बॉर्डर पे, वहां पे भी प्रधानमंत्री चले जाते. आज भारत बंद, टुडे Kisan had to announce Bharat Bandh. Why there is no response from Prime Minister? So many farmers have died. Why our PM could not go? I would have appreciated this if our Prime Minister would have shown courage and got and met the farmers who are sitting on the border for last 9 months. It is 9 months now, Gaurav. It's not a small time. And you have seen that how many farmers have lost their life. And let me reply to Mr. Guru Prakash. I think it is compulsion to talk about Nehru, because he could not, even in his whole argument, he could not talk even about a single receivable by India in this foreign tour of Mr. Modi. He could not give us a single example. Let me tell him, in 2017, 21 CEOs of the different companies met Mr. Prime Minister. None of them invested in India. So I think just photo optics, they are not going to work. We are paying the price of the blunders of this government. We have seen UN General Assembly. I think probably this is the first time that this number of chairs were empty. There was no applause. There was absolutely no response from the crowd. Why this is happening, Gaurav? We have to see that. The kind of blunder...
Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, you want to respond to the aspect. Look, for the benefit of India Today viewers, we want them to know facts. While politics between Congress and BJP and domestic politics is always, as the Prime Minister said, we are a vibrant democracy. That's great, but viewers must also know facts. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, you've travelled abroad with Prime Ministers, with Dr. Manmohan Singh. You've looked after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit when you were our High Commissioner to Canada. This crisscrossing time zones, hectic summits, bilateral and multilateral summits, engaging with top CEOs. In your appreciation, when the Prime Minister addressed CEOs in the past, was their investment a big zero in our country? Because CEOs themselves, in their reactions, have said they've invested X amount of $1 billion in India and they're looking forward to invest X amount in times to come. But facts from you, Ambassador.
Well, thank you, Gaurav. Facts and pictures speak for themselves. As far as the empty or some chairs being empty in the General Assembly is concerned, I was physically present in 2 of the UNGA addresses by the former Prime Minister. All you have to do is to take out the footage, which is available, and compare. This is how the General Assembly is populated. Always this has been the case. So there is no difference, and you can just take out the pictures and see that. In 2015, when Prime Minister visited Canada after 42 years of a visit of an Indian Prime Minister, he had a series of meetings with the pension funds and the CEOs of Canadian companies. Today, Canadian pension funds have invested cumulatively about 100 billion Canadian dollars, not small change. 5 CEOs of top 100 Fortune 100 companies in the US left everything, came to meet the Prime Minister for 15 minutes. These CEOs do not go to meet anybody for 15 minutes unless they see business. And today, last year, we had the highest ever FDI of $81.5 billion. I rest my case.
Rohan Gupta, facts being put out in public domain by a practitioner of diplomacy. Facts. Rohan Gupta, is the Congress belittling the head of a government talking about India's achievements on world stage? For example, providing effort to provide clean, potable drinking water to 17 crore Indians and other achievements that the Prime Minister listed out on, while addressing the United Nations General Assembly.
Gaurav, I started my argument by saying that it's not about the individual, it's about the country. Why I am discussing on your debate is
Prime Minister of India.
Right. Absolutely. So, Prime Minister of India doing Namaste Trump, don't you personally feel that's a blunder? I think one of the diplomats here, I don't want to...
Good point you've made. I will also get Ambassador Vishnu Prakash and Guru Prakash to respond to that. But go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Whether doing Namaste Trump was strategically right or not, can you please get answer from him?
Sure.
I would like to hear his views on that as a former diplomat.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about Prime Minister talking about India's achievements? Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, would you want to respond to that? Was Namaste Trump...
My point is, Gaurav,
was Namaste Trump...
It was a platform.
Sure, sir.
It was a platform
to talk about India's achievements, and should we be proud that India has great achievements to talk about? But
let me speak.
Go on, sir. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, you asked a question. Ambassador, would you want to respond, sir?
Well, again, this was a political event, and what did Prime Minister Modi say? He said, "Ab ki baar Trump sarkar."
What does that mean, Mr. Prakash?
Can I complete, sir? If you allow, be so kind and nice and gracious to allow me to complete my sentence. I will certainly do that with the greatest of pleasure. So, it is stylistic. There is nothing right or wrong about it. And if it had been such a matter or such a hula baloo that is made out to be, and before the visit of the Prime Minister to US, it was said, oh, Biden administration will be very upset, oh, this will be very upset, or that will be very upset. Political leaders do not take offense to trivials.
Okay.
And it is the national interest which is the paramount.
Okay.
And that is what was demonstrated in the quality of meetings of the Prime Minister with the Vice President and President.
Fair enough. I have last 30 seconds on the broadcast, and Guru Prakash Paswan, respond to Rohan Gupta's charge that India was lectured on democracy and non-violence both by US President and the Vice President.
Gaurav, the problem is that my friend from the Congress party and their leaders, they are not able to digest the simple fact that there is a massive appeal among Indians who are living outside India as well. As far as the event which Mr. Rohan Gupta is talking about, it was nothing but a public outreach event.
Sir,
period.
Did the US President and the Vice President lecture India on democracy?
No, it was a... No, sir. Gaurav, if you allow me to complete, like I said, it was a simple public outreach event. And the problem is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Ms. Priyanka Gandhi cannot even manage half that crowd anywhere in India that Prime Minister Modi can manage crowd anywhere in the world. This is what irks the Congress party. And the second thing which irks the Congress party is that Kamala Harris said the clear snub to Pakistan, and it was Congress's former External Affairs Minister, Mr. Salman Khurshid, Mr. Manishankar Ayyar, who goes on to soil of Pakistan and questions the integrity of electoral process in the country. So this is such a pointless argument. The Congress party should accept the reality and reconcile the reality.
I've run out of time on this part of the show, but we will talk about this. Were we lectured on democracy? That's a very big charge being leveled by the Congress party on the government. But much more on this in the days and weeks ahead. I've run out of time on the show today. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.